UFC Cage Locks Tybura vs Spivac 2 panel predictions. Ahead of each UFC event in 2024, UFC reporter Aaron Bronstetter at Aaron Bronstetter, producer Dan Fernandes at Dan Fernandes __, and writer/editor Mike Johnston at Mikege_MMA will attempt to beat the odds by perusing various sportsbooks and making 4 betting predictions. 1 lock each to combine for a 3-leg parlay, plus 1 additional favorite, underdog, and dart throw wager. The heavyweight division gets top billing Saturday at the Apex as No. 8-ranked contender Marcin Tybura looks to hold his spot in the rankings when he takes on No. 9 Serghei Spivac in a rematch 4.5 years in the making. Tybura defeated Spivac when they met in February of 2020, when Spivac was still young in his career and developing. Tybura has gone 7-2 since that fight, while Spivac is 6-2 since then and looking to bounce back from a loss in his most recent appearance. 2 fights were removed from the card midweek, 2 matchups underwent short-notice opponent changes, and 3 fighters were off the mark at Friday's weigh-ins. Despite the trio of misses, all of which resulted in the fighters forfeiting a percentage of their purse, the event is set to proceed with 10 bouts. Editor's note: gambling problems aren't only about losing money. They occur on a continuum and can affect a person's whole life. To learn more about developing a healthy relationship to gambling and to find resources for support, click here. Cage UFC Kiss. Which outcome do we think is the absolute safest bet on the card? Each will pick our lock of the week to put together a 3-headed monster parlay. Aaron. Santos vs Chandler over 1.5 rounds minus 599 betway. While this is the heaviest active women's division in the UFC, neither Santos or Chandler have proven to be potent finishers, and I believe that it is unlikely that we see a finish in this fight. If there is a finish, I expect it to be late, so I strongly believe that this fight makes it halfway through the second round. An evenly matched strawweight bout between 2 familiar foes. This one has scorecards written all over it in my opinion. I'm confident this goes over 1.5 rounds in what should be the easiest leg of this parlay. In addition to the Santos and Chandler fight going into the later rounds, I expect that Santos wins the fight if it does. Santos will have a marked speed advantage, and Chandler does not possess the sort of long-range weapons that have given Santos problems in the past. I expect that the speed and precision of Santos, as well as her well-roundedness, allows her to win this fight more often than not. The line for this main event confuses me because the last time these two faced off, Tybura won 30-27 on 2 scorecards. While Spivac has improved since then, I do not believe that Tybura has regressed enough to the point where he is an underdog against a fighter who he beat soundly in their last meeting. I expect this fight to enter the later rounds and for Tybura to utilize his grappling advantage by exhausting Spivac and either find a late finish or win a decision. I think Diniz is going to be a problem in the heavyweight division. Carl Williams will be his toughest test to date, but Diniz's striking power could be the difference here. If he can avoid getting tied up with Williams for 3 rounds, there could be an upset here. While Zellel has not won many of his fights by knockout, he has shown a lot of improvement on the feet, and I also believe that if he takes this fight to the ground, that a knockout will be live for him. He is a large favorite over Jono Aarons, and I have noticed a trend where big favorites have won fights by a less likely method, because they have such a strong advantage overall. That could very well be the case here. Dan. Barlow vs Veretennikov ends in round 3 plus 540 betrivers. Someone is likely getting knocked out in this one, But what's to say this can't go to round 3? At plus 540 odds, this is worth a shot. Doubling down on Danny B here and saying he improves to 9-0 after finding his groove in the second. This one is expected to end early. The odds of Williams grappling his way to a win are overwhelming, but I don't love the board for this chalky card, and Denis has some high-level striking. Hopefully his defensive grappling has improved enough to give him a few opportunities each round to inflict some damage. The more clinching there is, the less likely Denis is to emerge victorious. Maybe I'm a sucker here considering how one-sided his first fight with Tybura was, plus the fact Spivac landed 99 fewer strikes than Serghei before being finished in his last fight. But I just think Spivac has closed the gap significantly skill-wise since the first fight. There is a reason he is the chalk pick here, and not the more seasoned fighter who's coming off a win and holds a previous dominant win over his opponent. Let's hope Spivac is conditioned for a 5-rounder.